Hi guys and gals, and welcome to Magic. My name is Thomas Hansen and I'm one of the magicians over at acer.com, and in this video we're going to play around with Hyperlambda. And I want you to do exactly what I am doing now on your own machine. Register a cloudlet. There's a link in the description of this YouTube video to where you can register your own private cloudlets. And then I want you to play around with and follow everything I do on the screen hands-on in your own cloudlets. Now, for the record, this video is part of a series of dev.2 articles where you should probably start out sequentially with the first article and then read all the 6 first articles before you come to the 7th, being the article associated with this particular YouTube video. So there's a link in the description of this YouTube video to the first article in this series too. So anyway, assuming you've followed all my 6 previous articles, you can open up your cloudlet using browser or whatever. Here I have installed it as a progressive web app, the Magic dashboard, allowing me to simply log in here with my username and password. Then I go to Tools, then I go to HyperID, then I expand the Modules folder, and then I want to create my own specific folder for this particular tutorial. Click the Actions button here in the top right corner, choose Active Folder, choose New Folder, and then click it and give it the name of Tutorials 101. Then click Carriage Return, at which point Magic will create a new folder on disk for you. Select this folder, click the Actions menu item again, choose Active Folder, choose the new file this time, and this time we want to give our file test1.get.hl as its name. Like we spoke about in our previous articles, that file names in Magic are actually semantically important. So .get implies this will become an HTTP get verb endpoint. And of course, HL implies Hyperlambda. Click Carriage Return, and there you got a file. Now we can comment our file. We can comment it either like C++, this is C++ comment style, or we can comment our file C style. This is our file's comments. Right, this allows you to comment your code, which is probably important, especially now that you're going through tutorials, because it allows you to remember why you wrote this particular line of code, etc., for later. So go through your tutorials. And just add some spaces here to get some more air in between the comment and your first line of code. Then type SQLITE dot. If you're on a Mac, hold on Function and Control and click space. If you're on Windows, click Control space. This will trigger the autocomplete drop-down list, allowing you to actually see all the slots that starts out with the name SQLITE dot. Now, what we are going to do in this particular first tutorial is that we're going to play around with our database, at which point we need a database connection. Right now, if you did the first hands-on article in this series, then you will already have a database. And in fact, let me show you that by just saving this file, Option S on Mac, Alt S on Windows, and going down here to Management and clicking the plugins here, and verify that SQLite Chinook DB happens to be installed here. If it's not installed, you need to install it, or you should probably do the hands-on parts of the first article for the record and follow them sequentially. So this implies that we now have, if we go to SQL Studio, you'll see that I can select this Chinook DB and actually do this, and then click the load button, at which point you will see the Chinook database plugin didn't only install the database, it also actually installed a bunch of example SQL scripts. Now, what we are going to do now, we're going to choose the get rock listener SQL here. Just click it, this loads up that particular SQL, at which point you can do function F5 to immediately execute it, and you see it returns 59 records. Now we want to copy the text from the S here in the select and all the way down to the bottom of the C.email part. Control C on Windows or Command C on Mac. Then go back to HyperID, then expand modules, expand tutorials 101, open the test1.get.hl file, and then continue where we left off previously by clicking function control space or control space on Windows and choose the connect slot. then type parentheses and choose Chinook. This creates an SQLite type of database connection connecting us with the Chinook database, allowing us to actually send in SQL and return the results of our SQL execution. However, the actual execution of our SQL happens in a different line of code. So click carriage return now, click tab, that translates to 3 spaces, and type SQLite dot, and then choose the select slot here, type colon at, and then 2 double quotes like this, go 1 left with your cursor key, and click Ctrl V to paste in. Now you see, at this point, we actually have a syntax error in our Hyperlambda, and that is because of these quotes here aren't legally allowed inside of a string of this particular type unless you escape them. The way you correctly escape such quotes is actually by adding 1 additional quote to it. There's actually this saying in JAS that says if you do a mistake, do it twice and it's no longer a mistake. And for strings in Hyperlambda, that happens to actually be true for double quotes. Then go to the bottom here, click carriage return, then click write return, colon x, colon minus slash asterisk, save the file, option S, function F5 to invoke it, and invoke it. And there we go. We now have the names of every single user in our database that happens to be listening to Rock, and their email address and their first names. So now we have an HTTP endpoint which we manually created in Hyperlambda. Let's actually parameterize the endpoint, allow for passing in arguments. Maybe we're not interested in Rock, maybe we're interested in Jazz, right? Okay, so let's do that. Just close this window by clicking anywhere outside of it. Then at the top of your file, get a new line, type dot arguments, carriage return, tab, genre, colon, string. What this basically means is that we are declaring that this particular endpoint can take 1 argument. Its name is genre and its type is string. Now we want to use this argument inside of our SQLite.select invocation. So just put your cursor down here, carriage return, type tab, and then write alt genre colon x colon at dot arguments slash asterisk slash genre, like this. And now we can remove this guy. And we can exchange it with an SQL parameter whose name is, you guessed it, I guess, genre, like this. What this basically means is that this part of our SQL is dynamically substituted using SQL parameters with the value of this thing, which again, of course, is an expression leading to the input argument we pass in to the HTTP invocation here. If you now save your file, option S, click function F5, and you type, you click the genre button here once, you type rock, and click carriage return, ta-da, we have the same result. With one crucial difference, of course, being we can click genre again and write jazz. Hopefully there are some jazz listeners here. There were. Or we can give it pop, etc., etc. So now we have created an HTTP web API endpoint that we can parameterize, right? Now in our next video, we are going to look at what more we can do with this Hyperlambda endpoint here by further adding more Hyperlambda code to it. However, for this particular video, this is it for today. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.